We're now going to show how we can use a double integral to evaluate the area of a two-dimensional domain region. Let's recall that in Calculus 1, we used a single integral to calculate the area underneath a curve, or a two-dimensional region in the xy plane. The area underneath this curve could be determined by evaluating a single integral from a to b of our essentially ceiling function f at x dx. Double integrals are usually used to calculate the volume between a domain region D in the xy plane and the surface f at xy. Let's consider that surface function to be the constant function 1. This is the same thing as saying z is equal to 1, which is a flat plane. So if the surface is z is equal to 1, we basically get this flat top solid where the height is equal to 1, and that makes this solid a cylinder. And let's recall the volume of a cylinder is determined by the area of the base multiplied through by the height, and the area of our base is essentially the domain region, and the height of the cylinder is 1. So this scenario would make the volume of this solid the same as the area of that base or the area of that domain. And this is the scenario that we get when we let the ceiling function simply be equal to that flat plane z is equal to 1. And that's formalized here with this formula. So let's look at an example. We're asked to use a double integral to find the area of a two-dimensional region bounded by the given curves. Let's graph that domain region. And it is a 2D region, so this is going to be just graphed in the xy plane. The first curve is y is equal to x cubed plus 1, which is going to snake up in this direction. We're going to focus in the first quadrant, since that's one of the criteria for this region. The region is also bounded by the straight line x is equal to 1, which is going to come in and intersect our cubic function up here. Y is equal to 0 is another one of the boundaries, and of course again it said the first quadrant, so x is equal to 0 is also going to be a boundary. And so this is the region whose area we're after. And let's go ahead and call it D. Now, as we just mentioned, the area of this domain can be evaluated by a double integral so long as we let the argument be equal to 1, and then we'll say dA until we decide on our limits of integration. In this situation, we actually could integrate with respect to y first, and we would end up with the same lower limit and upper limit no matter where we are in this domain region. However, if we integrated with respect to x first, that x lower limit is going to change depending on our location in this domain region. If we're up here, the leftmost limit is going to be that cubic function, and if we're down here, the leftmost limit is going to be the line x is equal to 0. So if we integrated with respect to x first, we'd have to split this up into two separate regions and then add the two integrals together. But I think I'd prefer to just integrate with respect to y. So we'll go dy dx. Now let's think about what those y limits would be. When we add up these rectangles in this vertical direction, the lowest y value we achieve is y is equal to 0. And when we get up to the top here, the y value is going to be y is equal to x cubed plus 1. So x cubed plus 1 is our upper limit. Now we move over to the x limit, so we're going to move this band left and right. When the band is at the far left, the lowest value of x is equal to 0, and when the band is at the far right, the largest value of x is going to be equal to 1. And now we're ready to integrate, so let's look at this first iteration. From 0 to x cubed plus 1 of 1 dy. So the antiderivative is just y, and we evaluate from 0 to x cubed plus 1. We plug in our upper limit of x cubed plus 1 into the y value, and then from that we subtract the lower limit, which is just 0, and we have x cubed plus 1, which is going to be the integrand for the second iteration. So for that second iteration, our limits of integration are from 0 to 1. The new integrand is x cubed plus 1, and we are integrating with respect to x. And here is our antiderivative, which we now are going to evaluate from 0 to 1. So this turns out to be 1/4 plus 1, or 5/4.